messages up, and now maybe we go to the next toe, 'cause I'm starting to get that feeling of you better get it on the table.
Get it on the table.
Oh, this is a juicy one. The left foot middle toe. I'm going to touch it with my finger. Left foot middle toe, as well as the toes on either side of it, have this old workplace injury, again from when that host life was in college, so a long time ago. For a long time that injury was, would you say, not apparent, not a problem? Yeah, not a problem. And the injury was in the tendons and nerves, and now recently there is a painful numbness and loss of function, as if that very old injury is flaring. And we're wondering what's actually going on. And what now to heal the root causes of the painful numbness and loss of function.
And we actually have a guess, because of all the other sessions and about corruption being the ambient background vibration, not just for humanity, but for all the species on Earth. And so that ancient corruption might be the old injury that actually happened before we even graduated and began adult life.
Right.
So it's plausible, right? That could be that which predated the spirit world's arrival on planet Earth. That corruption was always there, but it kind of was not a problem for a long time, and now it's a problem.
Right. And they're starting to show this image of something that is old and metal and has had rust on it, and something added to the rust, covering up the rust, and the rust is still growing underneath the thing that was there to cover it up. And then finally the thing that was there to cover it up, it becomes clear that covering up didn't make the rust go away. And the rust is still very alive and well. Well, it's very open upstairs, and I feel the feeling of those presences hearing the sounds.
Will they take the messages out of the toes?
Would you take the messages out of the toes?
Can we just give them to you and you can do with them as you wish?
And we'll just give them to you, and you can just do with them as you wish. You can just send them up to you, merging in, lifting them up. And you know what this starts to feel like when we lift the vibrations of the messages out of the toes to hand up to these higher dimension presences. Starts to feel like these things that we try very hard to not think about, and we'll push them down into so many different corners of our brain to try to not think about them. And then actually when something happens to bring that thought to a head, when we've exhausted all the possible ways that we can avoid that thought, and now finally it's in front of us and we're backed into a corner, we have to look at it, we start to feel so much better all of a sudden. And probably what we're starting to feel is the potential for presences who come into contact with these messages that we're delivering, and someone way up high is saying almost certainly they're not going to make the good choices that they're supposed to make. Probably what we're feeling is the possibility for the presences to have breakthrough based on these messages. And very often potential and possibility do not match reality, and so to not be confused about that. And keep handing them up, and when we really go to hand the messages up, we can get them from way down deep. It's like opening up that well shaft way down through the dimensions until we really can't see that far down, until it just kind of disappears into darkness, and pulling up the messages from way down below and really merging in so we're not missing the intervening dimensions. And to really pull them up out of the toes, pulling them all the way up, up, up. There we go. Until the messages start to feel like timeless legends that are told in many different languages, each one bleeding into the next. And starting to pull them up out of those smaller levels, all the way up until we can feel it passing through this level of reality. And really intending to get all the way up through that hole in the sky, past all those rooms we've broken through, all those rooms that we've, someone says, given the opportunity to become better to. And going up higher, 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 merging in so we're not dropping any of the parts, because all the parts of the message matter. And starting to deliver them up, way up, as high as we're able to get them right now. And whatever you choose to do with them is what you choose to do with them. And again, I know that we don't have legal standing. I know that we aren't anybody that really matters in the grand scheme of things. But I can bring them up to you, and then you can have them. There we go. And we're just running those messages up because there's a lot of it. Whatever that substance is that the message is made out of, it's a lot. Sending it up. And while we have this really big hole open in the sky, we have one more toe full of messages. On the left foot of the Lynn Life Collective, on the fourth toe, 1, 2, 3, 4, that toe right there. In the very ball of the foot, the metatarsal of that toe is inflamed and it's causing painful soreness. And that toe has that same old workplace injury from college that wasn't really a problem for a long, long time, and then reasonably recently, suddenly, became a problem, started causing pain. And the new soreness is more pronounced and obvious than the old injury. And there's painful numbness, there's loss of function. There we go. So putting that message up on the table. And someone is starting to talk, and I'm not sure how it has to do with that toe, so I'm going to babble it out. And I might have to back up and correct myself. They're talking about how we've been needing a new inquiry about karma now that we're in this karmic midterm era. And their ideas put on the table of accumulation of karma, how to deal with the karma, how to work with the karma effectively. And we know that we're supposed to have a new inquiry to be more effective and to make that process more effective. And they keep drawing the focus to that fourth toe and how the old injury hurts now when it wasn't hurting before. Talking about old stuff hurting now that didn't hurt before. And there's someone upstairs who's really working over this concept of accumulated karma. Well, I'm just going to put it on the table because I'm not able to translate what's happening, but I'm going to put it on the table that we're looking for the new inquiry that is helpful in the process of delivering karma in the way that it's supposed to be delivered. in such a way as to stop the destruction in a fair and just way, because when we lose sight of that, things seem to go terribly. I'm just putting that on the table while really merging in with that toe and whatever it represents. Whatever that message is. Yeah.
Well, we were working with this accumulated karma idea in
Yeah.
a session not too long ago that was about midterms and
Exactly.
accumulated karma and accumulations of karma and delivery of accumulated karma. And there were something like 30% of the guardian angelhood who has signed off on their lives
Exactly.
and disowned the lives and no, I am no longer affiliated with that project. And roughly 20% of those, it's because the project is themselves just a belligerent beneficiary, just impossible to work with.
Exactly.
And why not start with those 20% belligerent beneficiaries whose guardian angels have signed off on them and deliver some accumulations of karma to them, using the unused guardian angelhood, who's really 98% just sitting around doing nothing, really, as best we can tell. No disrespect intended.
Exactly. And what it feels like is that the presences who are interested in that kind of process are presences who kind of like squishing people. That's who feels like is interested in that.
But it's supposed to look like and be the hand of God.
That's the point.
Not just astral bullies.
Exactly. That's the phrase someone said. They said not just astral bullies. And then I feel much less interest upstairs.
Okie doke.
Okay. Okay. But now it's very clear upstairs. It's very quiet.
Please may we have a divine plan based in reality that stops the destruction in a fair and just way, that has at least 6 months dependable levels of backup, so guardian angels can plan 6 months ahead for their charges, please.
Well, now it's really quiet upstairs. My best guess of what to do now, when we have this really big tunnel open through the dimensions, is just to merge in really well with the problems and whatever they represent, which is much bigger than the problems that we can see and feel right here, and to just start to pull them out and bring them up as high as I'm able to get them right now. And then we'll see what happens. So merging in, really merging in, getting a hold of it, and starting to pull it up and out. You know, when we go straight for the symptom, and whatever it represents, obviously, but I can grab the symptom much better than what it represents. When we go straight for it, we get that feeling that happens sometimes in healing sessions for really big places, really big geographical areas, where it feels like there are all these hidden things that nobody wanted to have found, that they buried there. And when we start to pull out just the actual symptom itself, all those little hidden secrets of the gods spill out like Pandora's box. So we should pulse those up, because it doesn't feel helpful to keep them around here. And pull the symptoms out.